Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline at Pixie Dust PhD. My partner Adam and I are staying in a garden or pool view studio at the Boardwalk Villas for a couple of nights. Come take a look. We are in room 4106 on the 4th floor. Boardwalk does have 5 floors, but I'm fairly certain there is not a 5th floor over this portion of the building. I can show you outside, but when you look up, there's just nowhere for a 5th floor to be. That also explains why we've had a pretty quiet stay. So here is your entryway, standard hotel door. You do have quite a lot of space in here, which is nice. And there is a light above as well. Turning around then, we have our entryway area. On the right is your kitchenette. You've got your sink, ice bucket, toaster, microwave. There's some cabinets above. This one has extra paper towels and then this utensil holder, which basically has all of the plastic cutlery you're promised and utensils you might need, like a wine opener and a can opener. You've also got some coffee additions in here. Below the microwave, you do have your coffee maker as well as coffee. We're using this area just for some of our things. This does light up under the shelf, which is pretty nice, and you've got a couple outlets here. Then these cabinets above the sink for a studio have your disposable plates, bowls, and cups. Underneath the sink is pretty standard. You have your trash and recycling, but this is where your open paper towels are hiding in case you couldn't find them. And then next to that is your mini fridge. Like most DVC studios, at least the ones I've stayed in, it is kind of oversized. And you do have a little freezer compartment. So that is your full kitchenette area. On the opposite side of this, you have part of your bathroom area. But first, let's take a look at this door. This is your closet. Here is where you will find your sets of extra pillows and blankets. This is your wall safe. There is no light in here and it's quite dark, but you do have your ironing board and your iron back there. And then just closet space for you to use. So I've hung up some of my clothes. We're storing some of our luggage in here. Here is your sink. It is totally separate from the rest of the bathroom, which is very nice. Help expedite things getting ready. You do just have the one sink, not dual sinks, but quite a lot of counter space. You can see I've got a lot of stuff out here. This is some of my partner's stuff. There's this very big mirror that's well lit. You do also have a makeup mirror that is similarly lit. It's got normal magnification as well as 5x mag. Then this drawer is where our hairdryer was. Here is just storage for your use, and this is where the additional toilet paper and facial tissues are. Under the sink, you've got trash as well as additional storage. And then this drawer is empty for your use, as well as this cabinet. Now this door is the rest of your bathroom. So here you have your tub shower combo, as well as your toilet, and the rest of your towels. There is one light in here and one fan. It is quite loud, so do bear with me. Here is your shower. There's also a clothesline, spigot for the bath, and we did get individual amenities. This is body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. The shower pressure and temperature have been fantastic. And in addition to the individual body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, we also got an individual body lotion. So that's really the entirety of your entryway. You have your door, your kitchenette, your closet, your sink that's separate from the rest of your bathroom area. Now let's move into the main living space. Here is your air conditioning control. It is the old school unit still. You just pick, cold or warm, and then how high you want the fan on, and if you want the system on heat, off, or cool. It's not complicated, but it works well. Then here we have a wardrobe. So you've got 4 drawers. They're decently sized. They're not necessarily incredibly deep or wide, but because you have 4 of them, it does offer quite a lot of storage and organization. And you still have the top of this wardrobe cabinet to use for miscellaneous items. Next up, we have the TV, as well as the under TV area. This is the pull down single sleeper, but while it's not in that mode, you do have this table as well as these 2 chairs. And really nice about this is on either side of the TV, you do have 2 proper outlets as well as 2 USB outlets. So lots and lots of charging possibilities. There are also 2 outlets hiding here next to the wardrobe. This is your adjoining door. We've just kind of used this for some additional luggage storage. Here are your curtains. There's the set of sheers as well as the set of light blocking curtains. These do have some not so hidden Mickeys on them. Super cute. They work fairly well, but I'm not gonna lie, they didn't overlap the most, so we did end up using clothespins to keep them shut to keep some of the morning light out. I'm currently filming this at night, but I will show you the balcony in the morning. In general though, this room, 4106, is a pretty small balcony. We just have these 2 chairs, no table, nothing remarkable. It is a garden or pool view. We can basically just see a tree. There is the quiet pool back there, but because of the foliage, we can't really see much of anything. There's the swan though. We also were in the room for fireworks and you can hear them, but you can't see anything. All right, here is the balcony. Room 4106, Boardwalk Villas. This is the entirety of it, so not super wide. You get your 2 chairs, and then here's our, I guess, garden view. It is a tree. There is the quiet pool down there. You can kind of peek it. Swan and dolphins over there. And then yeah, if we lean and take a look up, there is no one above us. I'm pretty dang certain. So that's neat. So there's your balcony. Continuing on, you've got this beautiful floor lamp, a little bit of artwork. Here's your couch. This does convert into a sleeper sofa. And then your coffee table, which underneath is just empty. You can store some things here if you like. Now here is your bed. Next to that is the single side table. So each person does not get their own side table. Just like the single sleeper, you do have the situation with 2 USBs and 2 proper plugs. We have a 10-foot phone cord that we have just threaded up and behind this lamp that the second person can use. There is a teeny tiny drawer here. Not good for too much. And then underneath there's just some open storage. Then you have your bed. I found it comfortable, but it's definitely on the softer side of things. I think this mattress is probably older. I know that the Boardwalk is undergoing a refurbishment right now, so it may be that all these mattresses are getting replaced soon. There is a little tiny bit of storage space under the bed, so we're using it for shoes. It's definitely not big enough for suitcases or anything. And then you do have this mirror by the bed, which is across from the door. So during the day, it bounces in a lot of light. That helps out a ton. You do not have an outlet down here, unfortunately, and again, not even a small side table. So the person sleeping on this side does not get all the conveniences as the person sleeping on the other side. Overall, we've had a really nice stay, and I find this room to be quite functional. There's plenty of outlets to charge all of your things and enough storage with the various drawers to store your stuff. I do think some of the soft surfaces have seen some wear and tear. So like I mentioned, the bed is definitely on the softer side of things. It's not so soft that it's uncomfortable, at least not for me, but it's sagging a bit. Same with this couch, same with the chairs. You can just tell that they've been through a lot. But like I said, Boardwalk is getting its full refurbishment, so who knows what will happen with this room. It probably won't look like this for too much longer. We did pay the points upcharge to get a garden or pool view as opposed to a standard view. Our specific view is basically just a tree, which I guess counts as a garden. It's not the best and the balcony is not particularly big, but those are not super important things to us. If you are searching for a room with a really big balcony though, 4106 is not for you. That being said, being on the 4th floor, but probably being the top floor is pretty cool. We've had a very quiet stay and I love that. It is quite the hike from the elevators from the lobby though. It's a pretty dang long walk from once you get off the elevator all the way out to this room. But for me, not having people above us is probably worth that, but something to keep in mind. By my estimate and with my walking speed, the walk to Hollywood Studios from the room, at least to security, is about 12 minutes. And then the walk from the room to Epcot, again, just to security, not necessarily getting all the way through or with your ticket scan, is about 10 minutes or so. It's not incredibly close to Hollywood Studios, it's not incredibly close to Epcot, but you are kind of halfway in between both. So if you are more mobile, it's pretty convenient. That being said, if you want to take a boat to either park, that also is always an option. We aren't super resort people, so we really haven't experienced the pools or much of the lobby, the lounge, or other offerings and amenities. But as far as the room goes, I think it's comfortable and really you're paying for the location. And if you're paying on DVC points, I think this room is a pretty good steal. The Standard View Studio is even better in terms of points, but there is just a ton of garden or pool view inventory, which is why we went with this room. We did have to waitlist this room, but it came through very fast, I think probably because there is so much inventory in this view category. I hope this look at Boardwalk Villa's room 4106, a garden or pool view studio, has been helpful. If you do have any questions, leave those in the comments down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.